I'm John Hubert and I'm going to be interviewing Cherie Graham.
Hello, I'm Cherie Graham from Brown Brothers Harriman, where I am responsible for our global network of sub-custodian banks.
And just as in NEMA, Cherie is going to be talking about how they operate in emerging and frontier markets. Cherie, just first question, at BBH, when you're looking at an emerging or a frontier market, what extra precautions do you take?
Well, as a global custodian with a rigorous risk management process, I would say that we look at the same factors whether we're analyzing a developed market, an emerging market, or something in the middle. And I would summarize those factors really into three categories: the legal and regulatory framework, the basics of safekeeping, the protection of assets, as well as account structure or concepts of ownership. And in emerging markets, I would say the biggest risk is political risk because it really impacts all three of those factors. As one example, I would talk about a rapid change in government without a lot of lead time can significantly change the regulatory framework of a country. So going to your specific question, we might do a few things differently. In these markets, we're typically asking our local agents more questions more frequently because information isn't readily available. We may also put specific operational procedures in place to mitigate risks. For example, the better than free settlement process that exists in some markets.
Tell me though, over and above political risk, when you're looking at infrastructure and the transaction process, can you just give me a couple of the major characteristics of markets which do really cause you concern, where you really focus your attention?
Sure. A couple things I can think of are the level of infrastructure and automation in a market. Obviously, wherever you have manual processing or physical processing, you're going to experience and have to manage more risk. I think another example would be lack of transparency in a market. So you might have regulators make a change in a market with either very little advance notice or very little consultation with the industry, and being able to accommodate those regulatory changes and understand the impacts to our clients very quickly.
Okay, Sharon, just one final question. If you were looking at a new frontier market rather than emerging market, so one where it really is frontier, how would you go about the due diligence process?
That's a great question, and we've recently done that in Rwanda, where I think we would consider that a very much frontier market. And we do have enhanced due diligence process in place, even in the event that we can't physically visit the country. And some examples of that enhanced due diligence are working with the local agent and actually getting copies of their policies and procedures to understand exactly what they're doing in the market. So we might ask for more detailed documentation. We may be in much closer, more frequent contact with that agent bank.
That's interesting. The challenges of emerging and frontier markets. Cherie, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.